Good afternoon. Welcome to the midday update. I am Laz, and what a difference a day makes. Whereas we were looking at what looked to be yesterday some pretty ugly bout of selling, and today we are back in bull camp. So again, the sentiment continues to change. This is a tape for weeks that I've said is a day trading tape only. Respect the shorter term trades, respect the shorter time frames. Perma bulls not making money, perma bears probably not making money. So if you are only on one side of the trade and you're not flexible and you're not, you don't know how to navigate the shorter term ebbs and flows, this is a much more difficult tape, and one that can actually wreak a lot of havoc on your P&L if you're not cognizant of what's happening in the landscape. Let's take a look today. We came in big gap ups. S&Ps were up probably 20 plus handles at the open. And you can see this big, nasty reversal bar that we talked about, which was last Thursday. We're right back into the upper end of that range, almost as if it never happened. So a lot of volatility in here. Intraday, not much to really do here. We can take a look at a smaller time frame. Let's take a look at a 10-minute chart here in the S&Ps. You can see we opened up that big gap up here, traded a little higher around 10 o'clock. And we're basically just flatlining now. This is the type of tape where, you could see a little bit of a pullback into the end of the day, but I wouldn't expect or anticipate a whole lot more than where we're at. Market's into resistance here, probing, the highs before we broke down last week. On the smaller time frame, intraday type stuff, there's really not a lot of impulse or desire to push us higher or even take us lower. So I think, right now less is more. As I've been telling everybody on the VTF this morning, if you're looking for trades, make sure you're looking at smaller time frames, manage your expectations accordingly. We talked about Nike as well this morning on the morning call. Let's take a look at Nike. Nike gapping down about 10% this morning into an area of prior support on the daily time frame. And Nike, little mean reversion here, which is really not shouldn't be that unexpected. This is a 5-minute Nike chart, and you can see we made a morning low, and then we've trying to just rally back slowly and steadily in Nike. At this point, I probably wouldn't be committing a whole lot of money to the long side, as we're well off the lows. I think the lows are right around 85, now trading around 89. I think maybe into next week you could see potentially higher prices here, but at this point, the intraday trade to me looks to be coming to a halt. I also want to talk about the ag stocks. Potash, something we talked about in the morning call, just to have a little follow through there. Gapping up again with the market into resistance. This is potash. And starting to sell off intraday. Something that you could potentially, if you're a day trader, this is an interesting sell pattern. You have that sharp move down, a little bit of a retracement through lunch. You might see another trade lower into the close. Something that I would watch for those that are going to be trading into the afternoon. Some of the ag names, Pot, CF, Mosaic, Monsanto, those look like they could potentially give you some day trades into the close. Apple, obviously we can't go a day without looking at our benchmark stock. There's not much to talk about here. Usually we have lots to say about Apple, but for the better part of the month of June, it's really been a sideways trade, not much opportunity. So when you have trades like that, there are some, what we call as cash flow short-term day trades, which is all you're really getting right now. Apple, look, yesterday, flirting with breaking support right around 566, 567. That was around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And fast forward, we're now at lunchtime on Friday. Apple trading right around the 580 mark, up about 13, 14 points off yesterday's lows, mostly up, most of it coming on a gap up. So, hard to really commit capital here. If I am leaning on longs again, stay with your shorter time frames. If you're looking for a top, be very careful with that type of trade in this market. I suspect at the end of the quarter, which is today, we're probably going to close out the week on this higher end of the range. Market's up about 200 points right now. S&Ps are up about 25 handles. I don't anticipate a whole lot of changing of that. Again, you might see some quick gyrations in there towards the close, but at this point I think less is more, and continue to stay with the day trading mentality. Right now there's a lot of risk being a perma bull and being a perma bear. I think the smarter money is either hands off, cash as a position, or looking for just day trades only, going home, flat to neutral with limited risk, so that you can navigate, the ebbs and flows as they continue to develop. As always, I'm Laz. Have a great weekend, everybody.